Imagine this. In 2025, a staggering 82% of employees are teetering on the brink of burnout. Even worse, 9 out of 10 are being crushed by extreme stress, leading to widespread absences from work. Now, this isn't just a random statistic. It's a full-blown crisis unfolding right before our eyes. Deloitte found that 77% of professionals have experienced burnout, with 62% saying it got even worse after the pandemic. Mental Health UK has uncovered a massive generational divide in who's suffering the most. Today, we're diving deep into this burnout apocalypse. We'll uncover shocking facts, explore the root causes, and most importantly, give you practical tips to save yourself from becoming another statistic. So stick around, because what you learn today could change everything. Let's start with the horror story told by the numbers. A report from Interview Guys warns that 82% of the workforce is at risk of burnout right now, a significant jump from pre-pandemic levels. Data from Mental Health UK paints an even grimmer picture. 91% of adults feel overwhelmed by high or extreme levels of stress. It's so bad that 21%, that's 1 in 5 people, have had to take time off work specifically for their mental health. Deloitte's research highlights that a whopping 40% of Gen Z feel stressed all or most of the time. But why is this happening now? Well, the post-COVID world has completely blurred the lines between work and life. Add to that the constant financial worries many are facing, and you have a perfect storm for a mental health catastrophe. It sounds hopeless, I know, but it's not. We just need to understand what we're up against. So, let's unpack what burnout actually is. First off, burnout isn't laziness or just a bad day. It's a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by prolonged or excessive stress. The World Health Organization defines it by 3 key dimensions: feelings of energy, depletion, or exhaustion, increased mental distance from your job or feelings of cynicism related to it, and reduced professional efficacy. The signs are often subtle at first. It might start with constant fatigue, even after a full night's sleep. You might find yourself becoming more irritable or cynical. Maybe you feel a sense of detachment from your work, your colleagues, or even your life outside of work. You start to lose your passion and drive. I remember a time in my own career when I was a high achiever, constantly pushing myself, until one day I just couldn't get out of bed. The motivation was gone, replaced by a profound sense of emptiness. That's burnout, and it has serious health consequences. Studies have linked it to depression, anxiety, heart disease, and high blood pressure. Some research even suggests it contributes to over 120,000 deaths per year in the US alone. If any of this sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. A recent survey showed that 66% of US workers are currently feeling the effects of burnout. Let's take a deeper dive into these staggering statistics to really understand the scale of this crisis. We've got data from multiple sources painting a consistent, alarming picture. Deloitte reports 77% of professionals have experienced burnout. Interview Guys puts the current risk at 82%, and Mental Health UK found 91% are under extreme stress. This isn't just a local problem, it's a global phenomenon. Gallup's State of the Global Workplace report found that only 21% of employees are engaged at work, while the rest are either quiet quitting or actively disengaged, often due to burnout. Certain sectors are being hit harder than others. In healthcare, a staggering 62% of nurses report burnout symptoms. The tech industry isn't far behind, with 38% of workers experiencing it. And if you think working from home is the solution, think again. Some studies suggest remote workers actually face a 20% higher risk of burnout due to isolation and the inability to unplug. Here's a shocking quote that really puts it into perspective. Some experts are now saying burnout shortens lives. It should be treated as a public health crisis. This isn't just about feeling tired. It's a serious threat to our well-being and longevity. One of the most concerning aspects of this crisis is the clear generational divide. The younger you are, the harder you're being hit. According to Interview Guys, burnout rates for Gen Z peak when they are just 25 years old. Mental Health UK's data is just as stark. 35% of people aged 18 to 24 have taken time off work for mental health, compared to just 10% of those aged 55 and over. Deloitte's research reveals that 48% of Gen Z feel financially insecure, a feeling that has intensified since the pandemic. So, what's driving this? A toxic combination of student loan debt, the pressure to succeed fueled by social media, and new anxieties about things like AI replacing their jobs. But what about the older generations? They're suffering too, but they're often less likely to report it due to stigma and a just-get-on-with-it mentality. It's crucial to have empathy here. Every generation is facing its own unique pressures, but it's clear that our youth need targeted support to navigate this incredibly challenging landscape. So, what are the root causes? Let's explore the culprits. Surveys consistently point to a few key factors. The number one cause, an unmanageable workload, cited by 52% of employees. Right behind that is a lack of support from management at 41%. The post-pandemic shift has made things worse, with 67% of workers saying their burnout has intensified since 2020. There's also a lot of controversy around remote work. On one hand, it offers flexibility, but on the other, it can lead to isolation and the pressure to be always on. But we can't just blame individuals or work-from-home policies. There are systemic issues at play here. Widespread job insecurity, the culture of unpaid overtime, and unfair treatment in the workplace. And then there are the personal factors that mix with work stress, poor sleep, financial worries which affect 49% of people, and a lack of social support all pour fuel on the fire. The takeaway here is balanced. Yes, as individuals, we need to set boundaries and prioritize our well-being, but the real, lasting change has to come from the top. Companies must lead the way in creating healthier work environments. The impacts of this crisis are devastating, and they ripple through every aspect of our lives. On a personal level, 83% of people say burnout has negatively affected their relationships. It fuels anxiety, depression, and a general loss of joy. For companies, the cost is astronomical. Burnout is estimated to cost the global economy over $322 billion annually due to lost productivity and turnover. It leads to a 37% increase in absences and makes employees 2.6 times more likely to quit. For a company with just 1,000 employees, that can translate to over $5 million in turnover costs alone. The broader societal impacts are just as alarming. Burnout is linked to a 50% increase in safety incidents at work and a 30% decrease in customer satisfaction. One expert summed it up perfectly. Burnout destroys quality of life. While some might argue that a bit of stress can be a catalyst for growth, the data overwhelmingly shows that the costs of true burnout far outweigh any perceived benefits. Okay, enough of the doom and gloom. It's time for solutions. How do we prevent this burnout apocalypse? First, for individuals, set clear boundaries. Learn to say no. When you're off the clock, be off the clock. Prioritize self. That means getting enough sleep, exercising, and actually taking your vacation days. For companies, the solutions are even more critical. According to the Society for Human Resource Management, simply recognizing employees' efforts can make a huge difference. Gallup suggests managers should have frequent, meaningful check-ins with their teams, not just about work, but about their well-being. Organizations need to invest in things like flexible work arrangements, manager training on how to spot and prevent burnout, and accessible employee assistance programs, or offering mental health days is another powerful tool. I know of one company that implemented mandatory 15-minute breaks every 2 hours. The result, their productivity actually went up by 20%, and employees were happier. To address the generational divide, companies can implement mentorship programs to support younger workers and ensure wellness initiatives are inclusive for everyone, regardless of age. The 2025 burnout crisis is real, and it's coming at us fast. But it is fixable. It requires awareness from all of us and decisive action from leaders. This isn't just about corporate wellness programs. It's about fundamentally changing how we think about work and success. I want to hear from you. Share your story or your experience with burnout in the comments below. Let's create a supportive community right here. If this video helped you, please give it a like and subscribe for more content that matters. And for my final question, what's your #1 tip for beating burnout? Together, we can fight this. Thanks for watching, and please take care of yourself.